Hi, this is Chatterboxing. I'm Sean. It's my prediction video for the Errol Spence Lamont Peterson fight tomorrow night. It's a good fight. I like it. It's I think realistically the best fight that Errol Spence can make right now. He obviously wants to fight against Keith Thurman. He's coming back from an injury, so that's not really on the table. Sean Porter, Danny Garcia don't want to know. Jeff Horn is fighting Terence Crawford, so it's a very solid opponent. It's a good first defence, and it's I think the best available opponent that you could have fought. I like Lamont Peterson. I think he's a good fighter. He's got a good record. He's been in there with some good opponents, a good variety of opponents as well. He's very well experienced. Um, he's versatile himself. That he can do a lot. He's quite well rounded. He can he can fight well on the back foot. He's got quick feet. He's mobile, good footwork, efficient footwork. He's got good defence, good body puncher, reflexes, good punch selection. He's tenacious. He's tough. He's got a lot going for him. He's quite a well-rounded opponent. Now the problem for him in this fight, I think that pretty much everything he can do, Errol Spence can do better, except possibly fight on the back foot. We haven't seen that from him. Haven't really needed to so far. But you know, Errol Spence is gonna, he's gonna come forward, but he's not just some come forward fighter with, like Sean Porter style. It's not just kind of like reckless, no real plan, no real aim to it. He's coming forward very efficiently. He's not really wasting much, and he just break you down. So Lamont Peterson, I don't really see him having anything to keep Errol Spence off of him. Now he's a good body puncher and he can kind of rough you up to a certain extent, but he's not going to be able to do that against Errol Spence. If he's not going to go toe to toe with him, that would be suicide. He's not going to get in there. Let's sort of trade body shots and hooks at short range. That's not going to end well for him. So realistically, he's going to have to fight this fight on the back foot. Now, is he going to be able to do that successfully for 12 rounds? I don't think so. Now, he's going to need to, at some points, give Errol Spence something to think about and try to just halt the relentless advance. Because not just the physical pressure, it's the mental pressure that puts on you. So Peterson can't be literally just sort of 12 rounds just, on the back foot. He's got to sometimes hold his feet, stand his ground, and try and do something. But I don't really see that he hits hard enough. I think Errol Spence is very efficient with his punches. As I said, he's not. I mean, he's not like a defensive genius, but when he does come in, he's got good technique and he keeps himself quite well covered as he comes in. So he doesn't really take that many punches. I mean, obviously he takes some, but he doesn't take a load. Do you know what I mean? He's coming in, he keeps himself, he's guard tight while he's throwing his punches. He's quick on his feet, so he can get in and out of distance. He's not hanging around unnecessarily. Got good footwork himself. So, and he'll happily I'm sure he'll take a couple of body shots off Peterson to dish a couple out himself. And that's not going to work well. So Peterson's going to need to use all his experience to try to really cleverly pick the right moments and time it beautifully to get in, do a bit of work, and then get out again. I don't see him successfully being able to do it for 12 rounds. I also think that aside from the physical advantage that Errol Spence has, I don't think that Peterson can match him for desire and will either. Which, let's be honest, that's the most important part of it, really. I think Errol Spence right now is a man on a mission. I don't see Lamont Peterson having the same ambition, the same hunger, and the same drive. Yeah, he's a top fighter, and he's got pride and ambition to a certain extent that he wants to be one of the top fighters in the world. But Errol Spence right now, he's wanting to be the number one in the division. He's well and truly thrown his hat into the ring in terms of that. He wants to be the number one pound for pound. He's just got total belief in himself, total ambition, and definitely don't see Lamont Peterson being able to stand in his way. And in a battle of wills, I can't see it. I can't see him coming out on top. And then when you take into consideration the physical disadvantages, I can only really see one winner in this. I don't think it's going to go 12 rounds. I think he just doesn't have enough to keep Spence off of him. And I think Spence is going to cut off the ring well enough that he's just going to be able to punish him and find a couple of open. We saw Matisse knock him out. Does Spence hit like one punch? Does he have that sort of one punch? I don't know, but he's very hard puncher and he's very relentless. So even if he doesn't, he can break you down. He can definitely knock out Peterson with one punch. Not saying that I think he will, but he's definitely got the ability to do it. Almost certainly got the ability to knock him out by wearing him down. So that's what I think is going to happen. I don't know exactly when. I don't think it's going to be in the first half. I think it's going to be at the early part of the second half, maybe round 7, 8, possibly. I don't see it going further than that. If it does, I'll be quite impressed with Peterson. I mean, he's like a career mainly light welterweight. I've seen him do this, kind of physical game on people like Amir Khan and people like that. I don't see it. It's a different kettle of fish with someone like Errol Spence. So I think it's going to be a good fight. I think Lamont Peterson, don't get me wrong, he's tough and he's game, and he is very clever and experienced. So it's not going to be easy for Spence. I just think he's overmatched, and I don't think over 12 rounds he's going to be able to hang on in there. All things considered. So yeah, I'll go for maybe the 8th round. I think by the 8th round, Lamont Peterson will get knocked out. Now I think in the last fight, Errol Spence fought against Kell Brook. He was a bit more nervous and he had a bit more respect for Kell Brook. Kell Brook was very big and strong himself, and he had a hard punch on him, accurate puncher. It was in England in front of like 35,000 people, hostile crowd, big step up, first world championship fight. And I don't think that Lamont Peterson is as good as Kell Brook. I mean, he might be better in some ways, but all things considered, he's not as. The fact that he's smaller, I don't think he's as formidable, should I say, as Kell Brook. And especially not like fighting him in America. Much more of a comfort zone for Errol Spence. He's got that under his belt. That didn't really faze him anyway. I mean, he went there like the first couple of rounds. He's a little bit shaky. I mean, as he would. It was a close fight, but he was just, very relentless. And even Kell Brook couldn't keep him off him. He had his moments where he could like push him back, and he's physically very, very strong. Saw how he just sort of physically dominated Sean Porter. He's a big, strong lump, Kell Brook, and he hits pretty hard. So he wasn't able to just stop the relentless advance of Errol Spence. So I don't see Lamont Peterson being able to do it. He may have an advantage in terms of like defensive movement, moving around the ring, and he's more experienced. He's been in, generally speaking, with a larger number of quality opponents than Kell Brook has. So I think that's a different attribute that he brings to the table that Spence will have to overcome. But yeah, I don't see it being that much of a problem for him to overcome it. I think Lamont Peterson is going to give it a good go, but ultimately it's not going to be enough. So yeah, let me know what you lot think in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching.